That will be part of our first news focus, as well as a look at how the folks in Heston are doing. We'll have that in just a moment. Melissa?
All right. Thank you, John. Wichita's Learjet has been sold to an industrial giant. It follows months of speculation about Learjet's future. Aviation reporter Todd McDermott is live at Learjet now, and he joins us with the latest on this story. Todd.
The price is $75 million. The sale is a relief to several thousand Learjet workers in Wichita, and the deal could give Learjet a whole new perspective and new products for the years ahead. Now, industry experts and friends and admirers of Lear are particularly pleased because now the company will have a parent company that knows airplanes. Working for a bankrupt parent company couldn't have been easy for Learjet employees, but the wondering and waiting appear to be over. Financially crippled Integrated Resources is out. Bombardier of Canada is in. The future for these people is suddenly secure again.
I think it's great. We needed to be sold to somebody.
It kind of makes it look like you might have a future.
The deal won't be done until a bankruptcy judge gives it the nod, but Bombardier is doing more than just sign a letter of intent like the last potential buyer did. When Lear boss Brian Barents heard the good news, his first reaction was wow.
Bombardier is by far the most professional company that has looked at us. They are committed to Learjet, its employees, the city of Wichita, and the future growth of the company.
To people outside the aircraft and aerospace business, the names Bombardier and Canadair may not mean much, especially compared to the world-famous name of Learjet. But the Canadians are no slouches and can provide something Learjet will need for the future: money for product development. Bombardier can boast sales of $1.7 billion last year. Bombardier itself may be as diverse a manufacturer as any in North America. Nearly 23,000 people worldwide build rail cars, snowmobiles, jet skis. Various defense projects are also a big part of the picture, as is the Challenger wide-body business jet, which will complement the Learjet line of present and new products.
We have 1,600 users around the world, and we feel that if we offer them new products, that they're going to continue to own and operate Learjets.
As important as anything else, Bombardier gives Learjet a future right here in the air capital.
Bombardier has purchased the company with a long-term commitment, and they are looking at future product development, which is going to assure our future growth in the future. And that could not be better news. Bombardier will say very little else about this deal until a federal bankruptcy judge reviews the sale. But I did speak to company vice chairman Andre Bombardier himself. He says simply Bombardier is very happy about the signing of this deal. Approval may take up to 3 weeks, but all the companies involved hope to get to a bankruptcy judge sooner than that, maybe within a week or so.
All right, Todd, it's rather obvious why Bombardier is good for Learjet. Why is Lear good for Bombardier?
There is one guy who knows better than any. That's Jim Taylor, former president of this company, former top executive with Bombardier and Canadair. And he says that what Learjet provides Bombardier is, first, an American base, vitally important. Now a complete line of business jets to go with the Challenger business jet, and a name that's known throughout the world. This is going to do great things for both companies if a federal bankruptcy judge says yes. And of course, the folks here certainly hope that judge does just that.
All right, great news. Thank you, Todd McDermott, reporting live from Learjet.
This is the Kansas State Network. John Holtz, Melissa Beck, Mike Smith's weather, Steve Dennis on sports. This is Channel 3 News.
Good evening. Some severe weather moving across our state at this hour.
A severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued, and Mike Smith joins us now with the latest. Mike, our top story tonight, the questions and concerns about the upcoming sale of Learjet are now answered.
A brand new buyer for Lear on the horizon. Todd McDermott has been following the sale. He joins us now live from Learjet. Todd?
This new owner drill may be getting monotonous for some Learjet employees. Over the last 4 years, they've gone through it half a dozen times, most recently this year with Gulfstream owner Alan Paulson. But the cloud of doubt over Learjet's future appears to have lifted today, thanks to Bombardier of Canada, best known in the air capital for the Challenger business jet. Now, that Canadian industrial giant will buy Lear from financially crippled Integrated Resources for $75 million. With that purchase price is a $38 million debt to be met. But with the bankruptcy judge's approval, the deal will fly. Bombardier also builds rail cars, snowmobiles, jet skis, and is a large defense and aerospace contractor with business ties to both Boeing and Airbus. And you see some of the products that the company is famous for. Bombardier employs more than 22,000 people worldwide at its Montreal headquarters, as well as Austria, Belgium, France, the United Kingdom, Finland, Sweden, and the United States. The corporation had sales in excess of $2 billion last year. 80% of its market is outside Canada. Right now, President and CEO of Learjet, Brian Barents, is with us. Why is this a good company to own Learjet?
Well, Todd, it's a company that's, one, committed to Learjet for the long-term development, which will maximize our future growth. It's committed to the Learjet employees and also committed to the city of Wichita and the state of Kansas.
What do you see as far as new products go now that you have a new owner with cash?
Well, we do have new products that we've been looking at with the working capital that they can provide. It will assist us in accelerating some of those decisions.
Now, I know that a federal bankruptcy judge has to say yes to all this. How do you feel about that going in, and when might we know?
We feel very optimistic about that. Last week, the creditors' committees met and approved the transaction, so we think that the bankruptcy situation will just be a formality.
Good news. Brian Barents, thank you for joining us. Good news for Learjet and the city of Wichita. We'll have more as the situation develops. We could know within 10 days or so.
Okay, Todd, thank you. Todd McDermott live from Learjet.
Now, John Holtz, Melissa Beck, Mike Smith's weather, Steve Dennis on sports. This is Channel 3 News Night Beat.
Has a buyer. Canadian industrial giant Bombardier will pay $75 million for the Wichita plane maker pending bankruptcy judge approval. Bombardier is a diverse manufacturing company with a worldwide interest in rail cars, snowmobiles, jet skis, even various defense projects. The deal ends months of uncertainty for Lear workers who've seen their current owner take bankruptcy.
I think it's great. We need it to be sold to somebody.
Kind of makes it look like you might have a future.
A bankruptcy judge could review the sale as early as next week.
The buyer is Bombardier out of Montreal, Canada. Today, it agreed to pay $75 million for Learjet, but the sale is not final because Learjet's parent company, Integrated Resources, is bankrupt, so the sale must be approved by a federal bankruptcy court judge. Well, who is Bombardier? Well, the company is based in Montreal, Canada, where it started back in 1942. In North America and Europe, it employs more than 22,000 people. Bombardier's business background is very diversified. It has done subway work in New York City, Montreal, and Mexico. The company also makes snowmobiles and water jets. But in 1986, Bombardier bought Canadair business jets, which makes the high-priced Challenger. And Bombardier now hopes to capture the lower end of the business plane market with Learjet. And Cakesville LeBeau is out live at Learjet right now with company president Brian Barents and more on this proposed sale. Phil?
Mark, last Tuesday we reported that Bombardier and Learjet were in the process of final negotiations to finally ink a sale for the company here in Wichita. While the man on my left here, Learjet President Brian Barents, was the gentleman who was in the middle of all those negotiations, and he joins us now for a couple of questions about the sale. First off, Brian, over the last couple of weeks we've had several companies been mentioned as possible buyers for Learjet. Why Bombardier?
Phil, we were looking for a company that was committed to Learjet over the long term, committed to its employees, and moreover also committed to the city of Wichita and the state of Kansas, and Bombardier met all three.
Now, you mentioned commitment 3 times there. Can we expect that commitment to translate into either an expansion of the Wichita Learjet facilities here, or will there be some consolidation since Bombardier does enter into the business jet market?
We think that over the long term, with new product development and the expansion of production in 1990 and 1991, that it will create new jobs for the city of Wichita.
Now, we're looking at some of the video here of Bombardier. They tend to make an upper scale Challenger business jet. How will that affect the operations here for Learjet since you're on the lower end?
Well, the operations will remain the same. We serve the small and medium-sized jet market, while they serve the large-sized jet market.
Now, I know throughout the entire negotiation process last week, several of the people in your company who we talked to said that there were just key negotiating points that both you and Bombardier were down to talking over. What were some of those points, and what was the catalyst to solve those?
Well, we reached agreement in principle about a week ago. Last week, there were some last-minute details that needed to be worked out. We had hoped to announce it last week, but we reached agreement over the weekend, and therefore the announcement this morning.
And it's certainly good news for some of the workers here at Learjet.
It's great news.
All right, thank you very much, Brian. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us. Mark, as Brian mentioned, that they have gone through all of the sale process right now. Now it's down to a federal bankruptcy court judge to approve the sale, and it looks like all things are go for that, and we may see a final okay on the sale within 20 to 30 days.
All right, Phil LeBeau, thank you very much. Reporting live from down at Learjet. Workers at the Wichita plant say they would welcome any owner at this point, but Learjet employees feel confident they'll be in good hands with Bombardier. Employees heard about the sale at a public address made inside the plant this morning. Learjet, as you know, has been on the brink of sale before, but workers believe the Bombardier deal is different.
They're a good company to work for. They've been talking to us about it for a week or so out here. Everything we've heard has been on the positive side about the company.
That it's a really secure company and that they're really aerospace minded and they have nothing but good intentions towards Learjet, which is real good. They want to, I guess they want to improve us a little bit, which is understandable.
As long as they keep the company here. If they would move it, it might make a difference. But if they keep it here and they have good management, then it's going to help the city of Wichita.
Gulfstream, Learjet's last potential buyer, backed out of that deal after Integrated Resources filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Again, the sale to Bombardier still has to be approved by a federal bankruptcy judge.
From Wichita's all-time favorite station for news, this is the 6 o'clock edition.
For weather.
Well, Learjet has a new owner tonight. A Canadian company, Bombardier, bought Learjet for $75 million today. However, the sale has to be approved by a federal bankruptcy judge. For more on the sale and the company that bought Learjet, we go live to Phil LeBeau. Phil, fill us in.
Rose, here at the Learjet headquarters, employees and the management are both very excited that Bombardier will probably be the company's new owner. They're excited because Bombardier is a company which owns Canadair business jets. That company makes the Challenger jet, which is on the upper end of the business plane market, and that should complement Learjet's dominance in the lower end of the market. Now, that relationship is the primary reason President Brian Barents thinks the Canadian company will stabilize Learjet's future into the 90s.
What they have done in their past acquisitions is they've left the companies alone, and the current management has taken over the management of the companies.
Those companies include Short Brothers of Northern Ireland. Since Bombardier bought that small plane company last year, operations there have not changed very much. So, Rose, if anybody were the possible buyer here, this is the best situation that could work out for both Learjet management and employees, because instead of dismantling the business, they're going to stabilize it and, if anything, build up some of the operations here. Rose?
Phil, seems like we've been down this road before with Learjet. Is there anything that could stop this sale?
Well, the only thing that could halt it is if the bankruptcy court judge says null and void to the whole sale. The creditors already for Integrated Resources have given their approval to the sale, and already Learjet management has appealed to the bankruptcy court judge to expedite the approval of the sale, so we should see it within the next 10 to 20 days. It looks pretty much like a done deal. Rose?
Okay, thanks very much, Phil. The sale seems to be a popular move for both company and employees.
And workers at Learjet's Wichita plant say they'd be happy with any owner at this point, but they feel especially lucky that that owner will be Bombardier. Workers we talked with this afternoon say they've heard good things about the Canadian company. Employees believe Bombardier's stability in the industry will translate into stability for Learjet and Wichita.
Could have sold us out a long time ago. They didn't do it. They've been looking for a good owner, someone for job stability for their employees and so forth, and that's what we want.
Everybody's pretty happy about it. We definitely needed somebody to buy the place to turn us around, and it's just what we've been waiting for.
Learjet has been on the brink of sale before. Gulfstream pulled out of the latest deal back in February when Integrated Resources went bankrupt. The Bombardier sale must be approved now by a bankruptcy judge.
From Wichita's all-time favorite station for news, this is the 10 o'clock edition.
The Learjet Corporation is certain about its future. It should soon be under the ownership of the Canadian company Bombardier. Today, the Montreal-based company announced it's buying Learjet for $75 million. Bombardier also agreed to take on Learjet's $38 million debt. But the deal still needs to be approved by a federal bankruptcy court judge, and that's because Learjet is an asset of its bankrupt owner, Integrated Resources.
But what will the sale mean for Learjet management, employees, and the city of Wichita? KAKE's Phil LeBeau joins us now to give us some insight into that aspect of the story.
Well, Rose, you know, of all the possible buyers of Learjet, perhaps Bombardier will probably work out best for all affected by the sale. That's because Bombardier will stabilize Learjet's future and perhaps give it a chance to expand. Bombardier is not a new player in the business jet industry. It owns Canadair, which makes the high-priced Challenger jet. Analysts say the company also wants to sell less expensive business planes, so Learjet is a natural buyout choice.
Well, they've made several acquisitions over the past few years. They know what they looked for when they came in. That helped a lot in the process.
It also helps that Bombardier has a stable financial base. Analysts predict that money will give Learjet the chance to do more research and development.
I think so. I think you'll probably see a surge in the creativity of all of the officers, managers, and labor force at Learjet. I think the sheer burden of knowing that they have a substantial company with substantial resources behind them will allow them to progress in the marketplace.
And the prospect of progressing and expansion is one reason many Learjet employees are excited about the sale.
Hey, I think it's great. We have an owner and have more work and stuff out of the way out here.
It's great. They're interested in buying airplanes, building airplanes, so that's the best thing.
If they would move it, it might make a difference. But if they keep it here and they have good management, then it's going to help the city of Wichita.
And Wichita could gain financially because Bombardier plans to start making 50-seat regional airline planes. And Rose, if that happens, don't be surprised to see some of the work, some of the component work done here at Learjet facilities.
Okay, in the back of some people's mind, no doubt the question, is there any chance all this work is going to head north to Canada?
No, not really. In fact, if anything happens, if there is any consolidation at all, look for it to take place here in Wichita. The main reason, we have a workforce that has been trained in the aviation industry, plus Learjet's plant has the capacity for more works. So if things do consolidate, look for most of that work to take place here in Wichita.
Okay, a lot of good signs, as you mentioned. Thanks, Phil.
Learjet Corporation has been sold. A deal between Learjet's parent company, Integrated Resources, and Montreal-based Bombardier was announced this morning. Kevin Nunn has been following the sale and joins us now from the newsroom with more. Kev.
Susan, according to Learjet officials and aviation experts we've talked to today, the sale is great news for Learjet. News that can be summed up in one word: stability. Learjet has fought financial problems for years. Currently, Learjet's parent company, Integrated Resources, is itself undergoing Chapter 11 bankruptcy proceedings. In fact, the deal with Bombardier is contingent on a ruling from a bankruptcy court.
The creditors' committees have already approved the process. The bankruptcy court is pretty much of a formality, but we have to go through it. That will normally take up to 20 days. We hope to get it done in the next week.
Bombardier has agreed to pay $72 million for Learjet. They have also stated that they will be responsible for an additional $38 million in outstanding Learjet loans. The reason Bombardier is able to take on such a financial burden is that it is a large, diverse, and extremely successful company. Annual sales for Bombardier are in excess of $2 billion. Susan?
That's a lot of money. What will the sale mean to Learjet's current employees, Kevin?
Well, in my conversation with Brian Barents this afternoon, the chairman and chief executive officer of Learjet here in town, he said that the plans are that all the employees who were laid off when the TTTS deal dropped about a month and a half ago will eventually be rehired at Learjet. That includes somewhere around 250 to 300 new jobs at Learjet as Bombardier gets online with the company here in Wichita.
That certainly is good news. Thank you very much, Kevin. Learjet workers look at today's news optimistically, but with some past deals falling through at the last minute, most say they won't get too excited just yet. By shift change today, most had heard the news of Bombardier's plans to buy Learjet. But earlier this year, Gulfstream planned to buy the company as well, but backed out in February. That's left employees cautious.
What's going to happen?
Holding off judgment?
Well, yeah, basically.
I don't know yet. I haven't got too much information on it yet.
Are you kind of holding off judgment, or
yeah,
what do you,
yeah.
Why's that?
I don't know. I just a little leery after all the setbacks.
Workers say company officials told employees of the impending sale this morning over a public address system. Now to our lead story. Wichita's Learjet Corporation has been sold. The deal between Learjet's parent company, Integrated Resources, and Montreal-based Bombardier was announced this morning. And while the sale of a company normally leads to uneasiness, everyone is all smiles tonight at Learjet. Kevin Nunn joins us now live from Learjet headquarters to explain. Kev.
Susan, the reason for that upbeat attitude here at Learjet is very simple. Bombardier is a very stable company, one that can easily afford the multi-million-dollar price tag Learjet commanded. That price? $72 million. In addition, Bombardier has agreed to assume Learjet liabilities, including $38 million in outstanding loans. In addition, because parent company Integrated Resources is undergoing bankruptcy proceedings, the deal between Learjet and Bombardier has to be approved by a federal bankruptcy court.
The bankruptcy court is pretty much of a formality, but we have to go through it. That will normally take up to 20 days. We hope to get it done in the next week.
Brian, what's the sale going to mean to employment here at Learjet?
There's excellent potential for hiring back the people that have been laid off. Over the long term, we have a company that is committed to Learjet in the future and is committed to new product development.
Bombardier can afford to make big plans. The worldwide company is diverse, manufacturing almost anything that moves, from snowmobiles to subway trains and monorails. Bombardier is no stranger to aviation either. It currently owns Canadair, the builder of the wide-body business jet Challenger. The company also has moved into military aviation with the recent purchase of an aerospace firm in Ireland. With such a wide range of products and a worldwide territory, Bombardier commands an annual sales revenue of over $2 billion.
They're a first-class company. They have a good management track record. They're knowledgeable about aerospace. They're a high-tech company. They have the resources, and they have the commitment to growing Learjet.
As Learjet employees look at this deal, they're looking with optimism, but also with caution. Because as Kim Setti reports, many have heard news like this before and seen the deal fall through before the ink was dry.
My shift changed Monday afternoon. Learjet workers had heard the news of Bombardier's deal. Some say they don't know much about their potential parent company, but they're glad the future may look more secure.
Well, I think it's good. I think that it'll be beneficial to the company. We'll feel more secure, raise morale, and I welcome the Canadians.
Others, though, say they've heard all of this before. The owner of Gulfstream was supposed to buy Learjet until he let his option on that run out in mid-February.
Well, I don't think it means anything until they tell us what's going to happen.
Holding off judgment?
Well, yeah, basically.
I don't know yet. I haven't got too much information on it yet.
Are you kind of holding off judgment, or
Yeah, yeah.
Why's that?
I don't know. I just a little leery after all the setbacks.
Since the bankruptcy court is to rule on the offer within the week, workers may not have to wait long to find out about the company that wants to be their new boss. Kim Setti, Eyewitness News, Learjet.
Now, while some of the employees you heard in that report seemed cautious and seemed guarded about their response, the CEO of Learjet, Brian Barents, told me today that he made an announcement over the intercom at all the plants once they knew that the deal had been done, and everyone, according to him, applauded throughout the factory. So apparently, Sue, even at the worker level, this news is good.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you very much, Kevin Nunn live.
This is the Eyewitness News Nightcast with Roger Cornish, Susan Peters, Merrill Teller Weather, Bruce Hurdle Sports. Now, the area's #1 rated late news.
Going to be sold. A Canadian company, Bombardier Incorporated, has reached agreement with Learjet's parent company to buy the Wichita jet plane maker for $75 million plus liabilities. Learjet's parent, Integrated Resources, has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, so the sale must be approved by the bankruptcy court. Bombardier is a transportation equipment company that owns plane makers Short Brothers and Canadair. Learjet workers getting off at shift change are looking optimistically at the sale, but they're cautious too after some past deals fell through at the last minute.
Well, I don't think it means anything until they tell us what's going to happen.
Holding off judgment?
Well, yeah, basically.
I don't know yet. I haven't got too much information on it yet.
Are you kind of holding off judgment, or
Yeah, yeah.
why's that?
I don't know. I just a little leery after all the setbacks.
Once again, the sale of Learjet is subject to approval from the bankruptcy court.
683-9242. And we'd be delighted to send more information, to have them drop by the museum. We're at 31st Street South and George Washington Boulevard, and just come on in and say, I want to help.